Leaders Aware everywhere. It's the Leaders Aware podcast. I'm your host, Alfonzo Jones, and I'm grateful that you're here. Today is a special day. It's episode number 15, and what does that mean? It may not mean a lot to you, but to me, episode 15 marks the season 1 finale of Leaders Aware podcast. So today I want to look back. I want to do some reviewing. I want to also charge you for what's next. Charge you, empower you, and get you motivated to do what's next. Okay, so let's dig into this thing. It started back in 2024, the end of 2024. Something that I did not think that I could do that I'm doing right now. We've covered so many topics from why leadership. We covered gratitude, fear, embracing your light, control, and all these things have been impactful for me. To be honest, it wasn't just a passion project for people to hear my voice, as much as it was also a project for me to listen to me. Can anybody attest to that? One of those moments where you know that you need to hear what you're saying. So I love the fact that as we've done these episodes that I get to go back and listen to myself talk and say, you know what, that's a good point. I needed to hear that. Have you ever been there? Listen, I want you to pause in this moment, thinking about all these episodes that we've done. And if it's your first time listening to the Leaders Aware podcast, it's okay. You can tune into this one and go back and listen to the rest as well. But for all my day one Leaders Aware, what has been the most impactful episode for you? What has made impact for you? And not just that, what have you done with the information? Because we just don't get the information, we do something with it. There's a quote that said, information, well, they say knowledge is power, right? Knowledge is power, but if it's not applied, it's worthless. So I don't want to just be giving you information and knowledge and you're not doing anything with it. Here's the one on information I want to tell you. Information is good, but transformation is better. And that's what we want. We want transformation. So hopefully over the span of these months, you have realized something new about yourself, because that is one of the goals. We want you to be aware of what's happening inside of you, what's happening around you, and how that affects how you lead and how you live, because you have a lot to do. And we are here on this journey together to get that thing done. All right, so we've talked about what we've done in the past, but I want to talk about this as well. So there was an episode that was called The Trifecta for a Successful 2025. And it gave some tidbits of information to help you with your goals, like making sure that you're clearing out the 2024 before you move into 2025. And not only does today mark episode 15 for the Leaders Aware podcast, but also we've hit the halfway mark for the year. So this is June. We're in June right now. It's the 6th month of the year. That means we walked into 2024 excited. 2025. We walked into 2025 excited, ready to face a new year, set goals. Where are we at now? Where are we at now? Now, in that podcast episode, and again, if you haven't heard it, I want to encourage you to go back and listen to that, because it's good for then and it's good for right now. So what we want to do is look back. We got to look back to move forward. We're 6 months in. We've done some things. We haven't done some things, but we want to look back and identify those things, okay? And there's 3 elements that we talked about in that episode: to celebrate, evaluate, and navigate. Celebrate, evaluate, navigate. So we're celebrating what went well. We're not going to beat ourselves down. We're going to celebrate what went well, but then we're going to evaluate those things as well, what went well and what did not go so well. And then we're going to navigate. We're going to figure out how we're going to move forward. There's a framework that I used to use way back in the day, about 2019, with my coaching clients, and I'm going to give it to you today. Okay, we're unveiling it. So we talked about celebrate, evaluate, navigate, but actually it goes on the premise of what I call the 3 R's. And it's something that I would do with my clients every month. The beginning of every month, they automatically knew what it was. We're covering the 3 R's before we move forward. And the 3 R's are review, reset, and then resume. Okay, and it's kind of it's similar to the CEN, the celebrate, evaluate, and navigate, but it gives you it's like the overarching theme of it. So we're reviewing our goals and what the plans we have set. Based off what we reviewed, we're going to reset. So maybe there's some adjustments that need to be made. And then after that, we resume. We keep going forward. So it's important for us as leaders to make sure that we are consistently reviewing, reset, resume. It's the power of the pivot. Oftentimes people will go into goals or projects and they're trying to see the whole thing through. We've got a 365-day project or goal, but we don't take any time to stop incrementally and make sure things are going the way we want it to go. Because oftentimes we'll find that, okay, I don't necessarily like this, but I like that. This isn't going well because of this, so I actually need to reset and now resume. I was reading a book, The Slight Edge, and in that book it talks about how airplanes have a navigation track. And they know what their destination is, but they're constantly adjusting the flight path. Ever so slightly, maybe it's the wind gusts or things of that nature, but it has to evaluate and adjust its pattern in order to meet the mark, because the slightest misadjustment or misalignment will throw it all the way off. And the same thing is true for us. The same thing is true for me, just like it is for you. We have to make sure that we identify where we need to make these adjustments so we don't get to the end of the year and figure out, like, what is going on? What happened to my year? I wanted to hit this goal so bad and I didn't do it. So that's why we have to review, reset, and resume. And within that, we have those celebrations, those evaluations, and those navigations, okay? Does that make sense? I hope it does for you, because again, you have a lot to do. You have a lot in you. We have to make sure that we have the correct tools as we navigate this process to make sure that we are successful in the end. And you can be successful in the end. Not only can you, you will be, because this is what we're doing. We're leaders aware. We're leaders aware. So where are you with that? What have you done? What have you done to progress in these last 6 months? Have you fallen off? Maybe you have. Maybe you stopped. Maybe you weren't as diligent. And that's okay. Because the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time to plant a tree is right now. So don't miss out on that opportunity of now to plant that tree, to get started back into what you set in alignment back in January, okay? So that's what our goal is. We're still going to have a successful 2025. The year's not over. We're only halfway through, but it's not over, and we still have some time to go. So let's get back into it. So another thing that I've acknowledged as we've done this first season of the Leaders Aware podcast is that it's been a journey. And the journey has taught me a lot about myself, and it's actually developed me more so even than the destination. The journey has developed me almost more than the destination. The reward, the goal, the gold is in the journey. The gold is in the journey. And on this journey that I'm taking through the Leaders Aware podcast and the one that you're taking with me, I want to be sure that you are understanding and you're seeing, you're acknowledging what's happening with me. Because you may see the same thing happening with you, or you may not even recognize what's happening. A lot of times we as leaders are always looking for the next. What's next? What's the next thing? What's the next thing? All the while not realizing that the reward is being developed as we're taking our steps. Like it's in the challenging that we're facing that's developing. It's while we're waiting that we're finding new things about us throughout the journey. We have a goal. The goal is forward facing. We're looking out towards that goal. It's a 6 month, it's a year goal, a 5-year plan. But even as we are stepping, we're becoming better. We're becoming different. There's a process that's being in place behind the scenes. So for me, as we think about this podcast, I've developed a level of consistency that I've never had before. Truth be told. All right. This is just total transparency. We're Leaders Aware here. This is what we do. But I've developed a level of consistency that I've never had before. Why? It was as a result of me doing this podcast consistently. I set a goal, I did it, and I had an accountability attached to it. I couldn't let the Leaders Aware down. I had to get it done. So, although I'm not totally finished with what I ultimately want Leaders Aware podcast to be, I'm in this moment realizing that as I journey along, that I'm becoming better. I'm becoming different. I'm becoming more. So, honestly, I might need to reintroduce myself. Maybe every month. As I realize, and as you realize what's happening in you. I don't want you to take that for granted. Don't take it for granted. And that's why those 3 R's are important. Because as we review, those things will pop up. What's happening in me? What's happening to me? Because there's always something happening. But you just have to be tuned in. You have to be tapped in. You got to be aware so that you can take advantage of those things that are happening and adjust accordingly. So the journey is journeying. I love it. And then lastly, as we wrap this episode up, I want you to know that as we finish up this podcast for this season, okay, so we're taking off the rest of June, July. We're going to be back in August. So y'all have a summer. I'm on a summer too. And as we're going through the summer, we'll still be working. You'll still see me. But I need you to understand, before we even get to that this is your moment. This is your moment. This is the right time. This is a reminder. This is your sign that you are acknowledging that you have what it takes, that you are stronger than you thought. You have more talent than what you thought. You have more people behind you than what you thought. And now is the moment. Whatever it is for you, whether it's you're building something, whether it's that you need to say something, whether it's you need to be something, I need you to know that this is your moment. take advantage of it. We're in this thing together, and I have your back. I've got your back. As we together become more aligned into our purpose and calling, to that which we have been called to do, are supposed to do, the way we're supposed to lead, the way that we're supposed to live, it can be scary at times. It can cause us to shrink back at times. And we can feel a weight. We can feel the burden of, for lack of a better terms, that causes us to kind of stand back and say, maybe I'm not ready for this. Maybe this is not what I'm supposed to do. But I wanted to tell you today on the season 1 finale, that this is your moment. You have what it takes. And the uneasiness you feel, that level of uneasiness is equal to the weight and the reward of what you have inside of you. Can I explain that for you? So when you think about a tree and the shadow that a tree will produce, right? It's only going to be as big as the tree. So when I talk about the weight and the burden, I almost think of it, and I've heard it within the training that I was doing last week. The trainer talked about the shadow that we have, and he used that as the burden. I'm talking about burdens. He used the analogy of a shadow. So you have a huge shadow. It's like, I can't do this. I don't want to do this. It's too heavy. It's too much. But when you understand how big that shadow is, you have to understand the gravity of what you're holding, what you have inside of you. Because a shadow can only be as big as what you have inside of you. So if you feel a big burden, you see a big shadow, guess what? You have a big calling. You have big dreams. It is big, and it is okay. Because what it is doing, it is causing you to be cautious. But in that caution, I want you to get and seek clarity. Get and seek clarity within that caution, because I want to make sure that it's right. I want to make sure that I'm doing the right thing the right way. But within all of that, as you're getting that, just make sure that you're not procrastinating to the point of no production. You know what you're supposed to do, so do it. This is what we do, Leaders Aware. We become aware, and when we are aware, we make the adjustments and we do better. So there are too many people out there, too many of you right now, that you've been sitting on this. You've been sitting and you've been waiting. Maybe you've been waiting for somebody to tell you to do it. And that's why we're having this conversation right now. You've been waiting on somebody to tell you to do it. So I'm telling you to do it. And as you do it, use the 3 R's as you go through it. That is the catalyst, the one thing that will aid and assist you in those scary moments, right? Or in the moments that can help us eliminate a certain type of failure due to ignorance. So a failure due to ignorance normally is a result of us not executing the 3 R's. We're just going and going and going and going. Have you ever been traveling and not realize that you made a wrong turn? It's not so prevalent now with GPSs, but back in my day, you could make a wrong turn and not know it. Actually, true story, my cousins and I were going on a trip. We were going to Georgia, if I'm not mistaken. We were going to Georgia. And just cruising along, having a good time. And we were and we saw a sign for Florida. Like we were a couple miles from Florida. Now, Georgia, Florida, yes, quite some ways. But we didn't realize that we either missed the turn or made a wrong turn. We were having a good time, but we were in the wrong spot. So that's why it's important for you to make sure that you do those 3 R's, at least monthly, quarterly, so that you can identify these things before they happen and you won't have a failure due to ignorance. I just didn't know. I didn't know it. I didn't know what was going on, but you should and you can. All right? Because, again, you have something to do. And oftentimes the fear to do that is because we've had failures in the past. And some of the failures in the past were due to ignorance because we didn't check in. So we got to take that out, eat that. Okay, yep, I didn't do right that time, but I'm going to do it better this go round. And again, as we learn, the gold is in the journey. The reward is in the journey. So I'm tapping out for the next couple of months. You'll still see me. I'll still be making some posts. Not just the podcast. We're going to be working on some things for season 2. But you can catch me TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn. Check me out. Stay connected. I want to make sure that you remain aligned because we're getting better every single day, every week, every month. We want to make sure that we're staying aligned, we're staying aware, and we're leading from a place of confidence and authenticity. That's my prayer for you. That's what I want to see for you, from you. So listen, it's been a good ride. Again, thank you so much for your support. The overwhelming support that I've received from you Leaders Aware has just been refreshing. And I want to say thank you. I can't wait for season 2, but we'll do it in August. In the meantime, again, appreciate you. I'm excited, proud of you, and I will see you next time.